Hey everyone, Doug here, Doug Johnson Productions, Orem, Utah. Have a trailer update video for you. I know it's been a little while. I've been busy with other things, so I haven't had a lot of time to work on the trailer. But first things first, I wanted to first of all give a shout out to the Patreon patrons that have signed up to help out. We have the first product. We've got that in. It's the Blackmagic SDI HDMI 6G. New product just came out a little while ago. That will be the first product that I'm going to review. I'll have that review out in a few weeks after I've had a chance to put that product through its paces. If you're interested in helping out to bring products to the channel for review, click on the link down there below in the description and sign up as a patron to help out. All the proceeds go towards reviewing products, not into my pocket. So, all right, so I'm going to start back in the audio booth with things that I've done recently. So, first thing you may notice, a new piece of gear here. Well, it's an old new piece of gear. This is a Digitech Studio from Digitech company, and this is the Quad 4. This product I've had for literally 20 years. I bought it in 1998, and it's a 4-channel effects processor. And the main reason that I've added that here to the trailer is so that I have a way of delaying signals. So, you know, the audio coming from cameras has a little bit of a delay associated with it. That's kind of the nature of digital video. And if I bring in audio from an external source that doesn't go through a camera, I need to apply a little bit of a delay to it. And the Digitech unit is the way that I will be doing that until I finally get the Yamaha TF3 mixer that I plan to put here in the trailer. So it does a bunch of other things, but it's primarily a delay unit for me. So the other thing I did is I finally got 4-channel audio inputs working. So if you look on the patch panel here, see the SDI channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. I finally have that working. I wired it up before, but I hadn't done it correctly, and the audio was not coming in, not being processed. So I finally figured out what was wrong there. I had mislabeled cable, so that's been fixed. Another thing I've done here, I've moved the 2-way radio back into the back. There's a speaker for it up here. It's also tied into the intercom system, so that when I need to communicate with people who are not on intercom, I can just hand them a radio, and they can communicate. And when they talk back, their audio actually does go into the intercom system that camera operators are on. So that's been really handy. Another thing I've done, and I'll have it turned on at the moment, but I did finally wire in the 4 HyperDeck Studio Minis that I have down there at the bottom. Those are finally hooked up, and I've been using those for isolated camera recordings for a couple events that we've done. Speaking of events, been kind of busy. We had 5 events in the last 10 days. It's been kind of hectic, kind of crazy. Okay, so moving on. So next thing, I've upgraded this monitor. There was an old 1080p Dell monitor here before. This is now one of my LG 27-inch 4K monitors. So I can now send 4K video to that and see it in its full resolution. These are great monitors, so if anybody's looking for a high quality 4K monitor, this is it. It's LG 27-inch. I forget the exact model number, but it's about $500. I think I already showed you guys this, where I moved this touchscreen monitor onto an arm where it'll come off the wall and pivot and whatnot. Next upgrade, this is a touchscreen monitor here. So yeah, I removed the 1080p old Dell that I had there and replaced it with this 1080p touch monitor. And so now anybody that has a computer can use the touchscreen in order to interact with that computer. And keep on moving down the line here. And then here we have, this is a Dell 4K monitor in place of the old 1080p monitor that was there. So monitors on this right side, aside from the big one up top, have all been upgraded and or reconfigured in some way. The monitor that used to be in the back here is now over here on this wall. I'll turn that on here. And that's really only there as a confidence monitor for me when I'm shooting videos for this channel. It doesn't get used otherwise. So you can see the LED light that I've got for shooting those videos above that. So yeah, so a few upgrades there. Come up to the front. Biggest upgrade here that I've done is I've completely redone the layout on this panel. So just very briefly, so I've got inputs 1 through 8 here, 9 and 10 here, and then if you press those in conjunction with shift, that gives you 11 through 20 for the switcher, and media player 1 and 2, color 1 and 2, again button by itself or with shift, color bars were black, access to the super source, and access to ME2, and then similar buttons for the program output. And then over here in this group, I used to have cut and then auto above it. I've moved that down here. I find that a lot more convenient because it's I just have the 2 fingers constantly resting there, and then index finger for auto, and then middle finger for cut. Fade to black, preview transition, and then 2 buttons with 4 different options for transition duration for auto, and then access to different transition types. So mix button by itself. With shift you get dip and wipe, and then DE with the plain button press, and then with shift you get the sting. I've also got this row of buttons here, which allows me to control the second ME of the switcher. Again, inputs 1 through 10, or with shift gives you 11 through 20, and media player 1 and 2, color 1 and 2, color bars are black. Over here, access to the super source, and then a auto cut button for ME2, so I can actually control ME2 from here. I've also done some other interesting things here. So this row of buttons here, something I haven't seen done before, but takes the preview of, down from down here. So I select the video source here, I come up here and press that button, and that sends that video source to upstream keyer 1, or if I press it with shift, it goes to upstream keyer 2, and then similar thing for upstream keyer 3 and 4 on ME2, and then over here for downstream keyer 1 and 2. And then in a similar fashion, changing the sources for the super source. So super source 1 or with shift is 3, and the super source 2 or with shift is 4. And then in addition, I've got my keys for controlling when the upstream and downstream keys go on the air. Dedicated buttons here for starting playback on the media player 1, or looping media player 1. It says 1, 2 on there, but the Just Macro software I'm using doesn't support that just yet. Over here, I've got a dedicated button for bringing the CG source on screen for 8 seconds, or downstream key 2 on screen for 8 seconds. And then I got a couple other cool things here. So I've got this button here, which allows me to take upstream keyer 1 and turn it into a picture-in-picture. So if I need to do a PIP, just hit the 1 button there, and that configures it automatically. So in addition to that, I have actually purchased the larger version of this XKeys controller. I've got the 128 key version, and I should have done my homework before I did, because the Just Macro software that I'm currently using does not support that unit. So that's going to just push me in the direction of writing my own software a little bit faster, so I can actually take advantage of the larger control panel that I already own now. So I think I already showed you guys this. So this monitor I've been using for preview and bring up the scopes on it, so when I'm up front directing, I can actually see what's going on with the video signals instead of having to come all the way back here. But that's been very handy. You can check the camera exposure and colors and everything right there on that monitor. So yeah. Also brought 2-way radios into the trailer to keep them charged here. I had too many events where I forgot them. Left them behind, and that's not going to be a problem anymore. They'll just live here in the trailer. I have several others as well. They're just not in here just yet. I did try making one other upgrade that I was going to do a video about, but it ended up not working out. So if you guys follow the channel, you know that I use Fibre to run video signals between the trailer and the venue where we're shooting, and that I've already done a couple of things with having multiple wavelengths on a single strand. So my computer network, for example, it's bidirectional, so wavelength light one direction and then a different wavelength coming back. So over one strand I was able to do bidirectional communication. Well, I was going to plan on doing a single fiber that carried both computer network and video by putting all 3 signals on different wavelengths, and I bought the little SFPs, this guy right here, the little module here. in order to make that happen. So it works on, I believe it's 1490 and 1550 nanometers, whereas all the video stuff works on 1310. And connected it all up and discovered that the SFPs that Blackmagic uses doesn't do a very good job of rejecting other wavelengths. And so as soon as I connected the computer network, the video signal went dead. So I haven't given up on that, but I really would like to figure that I'd really like to get that going. It'd be really nice to be able to send an additional video feed back into the venue. Right now I can do 9 trailers and 2 return feeds. I'd really like that to be for 9 cameras and 3 return feeds, so I can do not just program and the quad view to the camera operators, but also something like maybe a teleprompter or a second output from the second ME for a projector or something like that. That'd be really handy. There are definitely venues where that would be very handy to have. So, like I say, I haven't given up. I may have to look into some other possible solutions to make that happen. So, anyway, that's kind of the big updates. I'm carrying a lot more lighting in the trailer than I used to, because some of the gigs that we've been doing, like these are all lights here, some of the gigs that we've been doing actually have required DJP to provide lighting. And if you guys watched a couple of streams that I've shared, for example, the real sessions events that we've been doing, DJP provides all the lighting for that. And so between what I have here and what one of my camera operators brings, we're able to light an entire recording studio. It works out pretty well. So just other little things to, like when tripods are in transit and they're now strapped down so they don't move. It's very handy. Yeah, just lots of little stuff. Keep some sandbags in here for stands now, and yeah. But so anyway, that's kind of where we're at. No big upgrades just yet. I have changed some of my plans for one of the next upgrades for the trailer. I was going to do carpet on the walls next. I think I've changed my mind. The weather is still not quite warm enough to feel comfortable with putting carpet in, but I can do the woodworking for the desks. So in the next week or two, I do plan on purchasing that oak in order to do front desk, side desk, and then the desk in the audio booth, and then stain that and do polyurethane in order to make it nice and tough, so it can withstand the beating that it's going to take here in the trailer. So that's probably going to be my next upgrade, and that's probably going to be in the next couple of weeks. I do have another event this week, so I can't do it this week. I need to have time for everything to cure, but I might be able to start it next week. So that's currently the plan. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, smart remarks, or otherwise, be sure to leave those down in the comment section below. Also be sure to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Again, if Patreon, if you're interested in helping out to provide products for review on the channel, then go to the Patreon link in the description as well and sign up there. Even a few bucks a month can make a big difference. So again, thanks for watching and have a great day.